Okay.
This first one is from Fight Game Asia. You're about to make your debut in the largest martial arts organization in the world. What does that mean for your career? What are your plans for your time in one championship?
I'm really just taking one fight at a time, but this has been the biggest, most exciting thing that's ever happened in my MMA career. It's really brought my training to the next level, and it's honestly since the moment I knew I was signing this one, it has like changed my life, like my determination, and I'm mostly again just so honored that I just don't want to let this opportunity slip, and I'm going to take one fight at a time and work my way to the top and hopefully be as successful as I can in the promotion.
You'll be facing Itsuki Hirata of Japan in the opening round of this Atomweight Grand Prix. Tell us what you know about Itsuki Hirata.
I've watched quite a few of her fights. She's been pretty successful. She's got a good ground game. She's pretty strong. She's well rounded, and I'm glad that I got her for the first round because it will be a challenge, and no one from one really knows who I am yet. And I feel like this is just such a great chance to show my abilities and show all the fans my strengths as well.
This next question is from Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press. When you saw tournaments like the Invicta Phoenix Series, did you see yourself competing in something similar one day, even if not a one-night tournament?
I never saw myself competing in a one night tournament just because I didn't really like that setup. But when I heard that one was doing this and not fighting the same multiple times in one night, I was really excited about it just because I love the whole setup and especially being able to fight for the title at the end. It's just such a great opportunity.
Cage Side Press with this question. What was it about one championship that led you to signing with the promotion?
I just love how respectable the promotion is. Every fighter and martial artist that is in the promotion is just I would honestly be honored to fight anyone that's in this tournament just because I respect them all so much. And I'm just like honored to be a part of one. It's something that I've looked forward to, and I get really excited when I think about my fight and think about what this is doing for my whole career. And uh, I couldn't have asked for this to come at a better time in my career as well. So I'm just so honored to be a part of the promotion.
This one is from Essentially Sports. You are joining the best atomweights in the world, bar none. Surveying the roster from the outside, what can you say about the level of talent in your division here in one championship?
It's definitely going to be a step up in competition, but I'm always ready for the challenge. So I know they're going to be tough fights. I know all these girls are very well rounded. They are the best atomweights in the world, which is why I'm excited to prove that I belong here and I belong in one with these girls too.
We have some questions from the Japanese media. What do you want to showcase to the Japanese audiences on your one debut?
Mostly I just want to show that I belong with these girls and they don't, uh, they might not know a lot about me or I have never fought for the promotion. So I just want to prove that I belong in there at this level. And I also believe that I'm one of the best and I have the ability to win the Grand Prix and fight for the title just as much as any other girl in this tournament.
This is a follow-up question from the Japanese media. What do you do outside of your training? What's your hobby?
I have raced motocross since I was like 9, and it's going to be a little tough this summer with the tournament, taking a break from it just to avoid injuries. But I love racing motocross. It's such an adrenaline rush, just the same feeling as getting in the cage, but it's more just a hobby, not a career. This is mixed martial arts is my career, but yeah, I've raced motocross, dirt bikes since I was 9, and it's just something I've I've loved, and it's one of the things I look forward to after fight camp, to get back into. So that'll be fun to get back to after this.
One more question from the Japanese media. Do you have any comments to Itsuki Hirata?
Not specifically to her, but I just know that she's a very respectable opponent, and I have a lot of respect for her. And I'm excited to share the circle with her on May 28th.
Leon Jennings at Asian Persuasion MMA with this question. What are your thoughts on the champion, Angela Lee?
I've watched her since I first got into MMA, really, and she is definitely, there's a reason why she's the champion. I respect her a lot as well. She's very well-rounded, very strong, and I've worked my whole career to be at that level, and this is a perfect time where I think that I've reached that, and it's a challenge, but I would love to be the one champion as well, and think that I've earned, and I'm going to work very hard to be able to earn that title.
We have a question here from Brazil, from Rose Gracie. Where do you do your training camp? Who do you train with? And what's your walking around weight?
I recently moved to Miami to train full time, and I train at MMA Masters with I have so many great training partners there. This will be a great camp for me because it's the first time that I've actually got to dedicate my whole life to training outside of work, and just been able to focus on this. So there's probably too many people to name off training with, but MMA Masters is definitely my team, and my walking around weight definitely varies, but about between 117, 118.
No troubles making the weight?
No.
Singapore Strike Sports with this next question. What do you want the fans to know about you?
I want them to know that I'm not just a random American that one decided to pick for this tournament. That, I've been in mixed martial arts since I was 18. I had my first fight a month after my 18th birthday. I come from a traditional karate background. My dad owned a karate school when I was born, and have been in traditional martial arts since I was just a baby. So I definitely am ready to compete at this caliber with these atomweights, and look forward to meeting all the fans and performing in front of them, and just proving why I'm also one of the best atomweights in the world.
For the fans that don't know you and your style, can you tell us what your style is like? What are your biggest strengths?
Definitely my biggest strength is how tall I am. I'm 5'5.5", which is taller than any girl in the tournament, and probably one of the tallest 105-pound fighters. And so my reach is definitely an advantage, but I also love jujitsu. I have quite a few wins by submission, one being a flying triangle. And so I feel like I can get it to the ground. I'm comfortable on the ground. But I also have good striking because of my reach. So, and I have a traditional karate background. So I feel that I'm pretty well-rounded, and I'm going to be able to give these girls at least some trouble wherever they decide to take the fight, or mostly wherever I decide to take the fight.
Your opponent, Itsuki Hirata, is known mostly for her grappling. Would you feel comfortable going to the ground with her?
Yeah, if it goes to the ground, then yes, I feel comfortable. I know she's got a judo background too, so she's going to be looking for her throws, and I've watched her fights, so I know what takedown she does like to go. So when we go to the ground, I will be comfortable, just because, I've also faced pretty good competition too, and I've been able to get it to the ground in every fight when I've wanted to. So Yeah, I'm comfortable with my jiu-jitsu.
This next question is from Fight Game Asia. What are your thoughts on this Grand Prix? What are your thoughts on competing in this tournament format?
I definitely like the format that it's not like the one night multiple fights. They spaced out within a good time with the end being, at the end of the year for the finals. And I'm mostly, again, I'm just like super honored to be in the tournament and a part of this and this historic event that one is put on, and to be able to represent my country and be in there with these top girls is uh, something I waited my whole career to be able to train full time like this and just put everything I have into this tournament.
Looking at the 8 women in this tournament, outside of your opponent, who do you think is the biggest challenge for you?
I wouldn't say anyone in particular is the biggest challenge because, again, I feel like everyone that's in the tournament has earned their right to be there. And uh, there's definitely, fighters like Stamp that are very, very good at their expertise. So like her stand up and my opponent's judo. But honestly, I feel like I'm more of the one of the most well-rounded out of all of them. But every fighter that is in the tournament, I definitely respect because they all have earned to be in this tournament.
Now, a couple other Americans will be fighting on the One on TNT One shows. Most notably, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. He will be taking on the current reigning one flyweight world champion, Adriano Moraes. What do you think about that matchup?
Well, I always love watching Demetrius Johnson. Of course, I'm always gonna root for the Americans. So it's been awesome watching him. Also, like Sage Northcutt, and his sister as well. I love watching them fight, especially because they came from like the same karate background as I have. So um, I'm excited to see them compete, and it's always good seeing other Americans in one. And I always support them.
Can you give us a predictions for this matchup, Demetrius Johnson versus Adriano?
Yeah, I honestly see Demetrius winning. I would like to see a finish, but I could see it going to decision.
Another matchup that you just mentioned, Sage Northcutt will be taking on Shinya Aoki. Give us your predictions for that one.
It's definitely gonna be a tough fight for Sage, but I really want to see him just come back strong after his last fight. And I know he's been putting in the work, and um, I think that if he just sticks to his strengths and his game plan, then he'll come out on top.
One more American on the card, big name. The underground king, Eddie Alvarez, takes on the #2 ranked lightweight contender, Yuri Lapikis. No, you're gonna root for your American, but give us another prediction for that one.
I'm gonna say him by Eddie by finish. I think he'll finish maybe in a later round. That's my prediction.
Gong Magazine. What are your impressions of Hirata's throws, especially in the judo throws and the neck throws? Can you go around the back?
Like I definitely have the abilities to go around the back because I also think with how tall I am, like she might be think that she'll be able to throw me. But one of my coaches at MMA Masters, Daniel Verde, is like a judo master. So we're obviously, training for that and working different variations that we feel will be beneficial for this fight. And, obviously stopping that, countering that. So, the fight is still about 8 weeks out. So there's plenty of time to prepare. And I like having a long camp because I like being able to be prepared. So there's no doubt that on May 28th, I'll be more than ready for whatever game plan she has.
Next question from Rose Gracie. Who is your favorite female fighter and what belt are you in jiu-jitsu?
Well, my favorite female fighter is Ronda Rousey. I know she's not like one, but she's just such an inspiration on like in America because she's like someone that I've always just looked up to as being like strong, successful woman because in a male dominant sport. And I'm a 4 stripe blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Follow-up question from Rose Gracie. Who inspires you in this fight game?
Honestly, like my family back home, I recently lost both my grandparents within like the last 6 months. So I just moved away from them about 3 weeks ago. I'm from Michigan, which people that don't know, it's like across the country in Florida. So I really want to make my family proud, and being here alone in a city I don't know anyone except my new teammates, which is also tough going to a new gym. I just want to make them proud, and you know, uh, keep following my dreams. So whenever I start to get down in camp and think about being lonely, I just think back home, and I just they really kept me going.
Fight Game Asia with this next question. What do you think your biggest strengths and weaknesses are that you have to work on?
My biggest weaknesses, I think, is because this is so much change for me going into one, and fighting this higher caliber of fighters is just not keeping my mindset right, and just reassuring myself that again that I've earned this too. I belong with these girls in here, and my strengths. I think that I fought well-rounded fighters. I think that I have. I know I have a good reach, and just utilizing that reach during these fights, especially with someone that's going to try to judo toss me, is going to be important.
Going to this next question from Dylan Bowker of My MMA News. What is your excitement level getting into compete under the one rule set, which allows for certain grounded strikes?
It's definitely been like a little adjustment with training, because you have to, like, every time you get taken down, you have to remember that they can knee on the ground, and with before, I've never had to worry about that. So just getting used to in my head, knowing that if I get in this position in a fight, like this is what could happen. And also vice versa, knowing that if I get someone there, that I can legally legally do those things, which are different. So and also not like meeting my training partners on the ground, because I'm the only one fighter in the gym, so that want to be cool. But uh, yeah, just adjusting a little bit to the new rules.
Logan from Roots of Combat with this question. What new opportunities or advantages will be present in Florida with your new team that you didn't have in Michigan?
Just the consistency of training. My team has honestly, even though I've only been here 3 weeks, they've already made me feel like family with their support. And um, I mean, I have people texting me daily that hey, I've watched your opponent. Can you come in 30 minutes before this class and let's work this? And it's not just the coaches that are reaching out to help me. It's teammates and multiple teammates that want to put in the work after training. And it's also like we have multiple trainings a day. It's not, back home it's kind of like, you got one jujitsu class a day, then maybe boxing the next. Like here, we're just grinding all day. You go to pro practice in the morning, strength and conditioning in the afternoon, and then followed by night practice, drilling, and it's every day. And we all stay on top of each other just to, like, we're definitely a family, and make sure that we're all doing what we need to do to be successful together.
Fight Game Asia with this next question. What are Itsuki's biggest weakness that you think you can capitalize on?
Without giving away like our whole like game plan and stuff, I think that even though she is 7-0, maybe like the girls that she's fought haven't been. I don't want to say like not to, but like be. I just think that I'll be also like one of her tough fights. So she does have holes in her game that haven't been exposed yet.
Rose Gracie with this question. She asks, you're walking around at 117, 118 right now. How are you making sure that you show up at 105 hydrated?
I have like a really good nutritionist. I've always made weight at 105, walking around at this weight. So my nutritionist, Tyler Mitten, just has always put together, I follow a really strict diet along with my conditioning. And um, I've even never had to worry about like doing big water cuts in the past. So I've never had an issue making 105, even if I'm on the bigger end of the scale.
One last question before we let you go. Is there one particular walkout song that you always use, or you always go with a new song?
I always use God's Plan by Drake.
Oh, that's a good one.